Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and I'm here to build a model kit to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 Blue emote. If you are currently a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or if you'd like to be a lurker, you can also just do that. You can just have this on and do whatever and not chat, and that's okay. Jeff Gersman threw in some emotes right before the stream started. Welcome, Jeff. Mjon is here, Aristophan is here, Ghost Valve is here, Lashbrook is here. We got quality folks here. Very happy to have all of you here. Mjon says, now with many times more Pat. And that's true. Because there's, hey, Electronica just subscribed with Prime. That's 17 months. Thank you so much for that. Gonna go ahead and hit the applause. Thank you so much for that. And also, whoa, okay. A vinyl collector. There is vinyl back there, friend. We'll get to that. But also, Azarac just subscribed at Prime. That's for 2 months. Thank you so much. We're gonna hit the applause again. Let's throw some emotes in there. And Mjon wants me to hit the dance button, so I will hit the dance button in just a second here. And also, while I'm dancing, I will turn off the sub number because I didn't even have to say anything. We just hit our goal. Thank you for using your channel points for me to hit that dance button. And yes, we are now at 40 out of 40 subscribers. My vinyl collection is pretty bad, but I've got some Fleetwood Mac and Rush in it. Nice. So what the fuck? We'll talk about like why I'm in this room in a bit. This is the office here in the house. It is the what would be like the kids' room if there were children, because it's it's not really a full-size bedroom. It's like a bonus room. It is the office. My mom has her desk in here. She does some paperwork and stuff. The filing cabinet and the printer live in here. The closet has like coats and then also like storage that we can't fit in the pantry. And like it's also where my mom keeps the many bears that she collects because she loves collecting stuffed teddy bears. And there's some Beanie Babies here. There are Yadros, which are very fancy collectibles that my mom likes. Most of the Yadros live in this room. And then also, there are many photos of deceased relatives and also me throughout the years. And also some younger photos of like my cousins and whatnot. But mainly the photos behind me are people that we lost long ago who touched our lives, related to us, and were great. And then also like, I don't know, what about me in like high school? Trying to look adult. I don't know, put that on the wall. We got a big one this year. So put that up there. Stuff like that. So that's the office. My dad's vinyl collection is there. That is not my vinyl collection. We recently got a secondhand from a friend, so we were able to display his records better instead of them being in boxes, which is nice. Yeah, this is the room that is like a nice buffer. You may remember that I was in this bedroom. It does definitely beats all milk crates. I was in this bedroom. Last winter, I would say, or maybe last summer, a while ago, I was in this room and streamed out of this room. But you didn't see this behind me because you saw like the window because I was facing another wall. Because right behind me, directly behind me, you can kind of see it there, is the pull-out couch that I had to sleep on. It's like a love seat pull-out. Because I'm not sleeping in this room tonight, I didn't have to set up in a corner and kind of work around it. I could just set up in front of the couch. And originally, I was going to be facing the photos of me because I was like, it's weird to have a bunch of photos of me and family members behind me for this stream. But then I realized, I didn't want a whole row of Yadros, expensive things, and then so many goddamn bears. Just so many teddy bears. My mom has so many teddy bears. Like I said, some of them are Beanie Babies. Some of them are just various bears. There's some bunnies as well, kind of mixed in. There's like at least one that we got like from F.A.O. Schwartz back in the day that like someone paid for me to buy and I picked it out and then my mom kept it. I don't know. It is cool, John. It's not uncool. Also, I thought it would be weird for me to put this table in front of a couch. That just felt weird. Like the other way, like facing a couch. I don't know why I thought that was weird, but I did. Anyway, um, what do we do here? We got a model kit. We're gonna build it. I am using the old table, the long table that I used to use in previous builds before I got my new table. So we're back to the old weird gray table. So it's going to look a little different, and the lighting might not be right. I didn't want to redo um, my white balance on the overhead camera to then have to redo it again for Monday's stream. Just didn't make sense. So tonight things are going to be a little off because I have like my third monitor, which is my OBS monitor, is over on the other side than it normally is, and my sheets are actually sprues are actually really easy for me to get, which is nice. My stream deck is like a little out of the way, and my overhead camera is attached to like I set up the pole differently, and it's actually like kind of perfect. And I'm annoyed that I'm going to go back to the old way. But anyway, we should get into that. And then as we're building here, as we start working on the second arm for this kit, I'm going to retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight on a fine Saturday. I'll talk about why I'm in this room. Also, the lighting is not great. I am definitely more bright on one side of my face than the other. Just like, it's different. This is less. That's just, unfortunately, how this room ended up. I did my best to balance everything. Well, let's go to the overhead. Here's the overhead. Oh, mouse is in the way. But yeah, the camera is now like directly over me, which is weird. Instead of like coming in from the side and angle tie. Oops, kind of that way. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's like, I actually like the color of the table in this room. Yeah, so I don't love this table. The model seems less washed out. John, that is interesting. This table is very long. It's not that wide because the square table that I normally use is wider and deeper, which I prefer. Because the monitors are like sticking off the edge a little bit. Not so much that I'm worried. But yeah, I mean, I might need to play around with my white balance if we're running into issues. Also, the solution would be that I just get a cutting surface, which I should. I should have a build surface. I should get one of those. They're not expensive. I should just do that. I will at some point. It's on my wish list, but at some point I should do that and then white balance for that instead of having the white table. But the white table is better in every conceivable way, including the fact that this table that I'm currently using doesn't fit well in my bedroom. So I used it because I had to, and then as soon as I didn't have to, it was gone. Anyway, we added the new parts here. These parts are not normally on this kit. We are now going to be adding even more. We're going to go back to the traditional arm and add that there. Yavi says, I wonder how well different paints apply to Gunpla. I love finishing minis with washes. So, I am not the person that I have no experience painting model kits. I can tell you that people have had great experience with airbrushing. I don't know about hand painting, but I know that people have great experience with that. Top coat, very important, obviously, for something like that. But people certainly paint. I never have. Closest I get is to using, as we go and get the parts together that we need here. I have certainly used markers. I use the Gundam markers from Bandai for that purpose, and I have great success with the markers and enjoyed that. As soon as I started using the markers, I was like, I wish I had been doing this whole time. Why did I not do that? Why did I wait so long to start using markers? I felt pretty foolish about that. I wish I had been doing it this whole dang time. Anyway, yeah, so, Pat, I didn't read your Twitter today as you were talking about it. Why are you in this room? This is not the room that you normally stream out of. Why are you only here just for Saturday and you'll be back in your room for Monday? But then next Saturday, you'll be in a different room. What's going on? Well, the different room thing, I'll say that. my my Monday stream and my Thursday stream and my Tuesday stream will be back in the regular bedroom, and then I will eventually move into the spot doing a full house tour. Yes, I will be going back to the Carolina room. We call it the bonus room. And I will be doing that because my folks will be out of town for like a month and a half, and I have the ability to not be in this room, which I'm excited about, or not in my normal bedroom. And my bedroom will go back to being a bedroom, and not also where I do all of my work and all of my leisure time and also stream. And it'll go back to just being a fucking bedroom that I sleep in. And I'm looking forward to that. But I'm in here because it had been. Okay, so which way does that go? This goes like this. It had been in discussion in this house for a while here. We were talking about this for quite some time. That, hey, you know what we should do? We should borrow the neighbors, or friends of ours. We should borrow their carpet cleaner. They got a small carpet cleaner. It's meant for like pets. We don't have pets, but like it would still be good to do. Let's borrow their carpet cleaner, and then let's clean the carpet in the master bedroom and Pat's room, the guest bedroom, which is Pat, my bedroom. And we've been talking about doing this for a while, and then it was like, hey, they're gonna go out of town too. We should do this now. Let's just get this done. My dad was all gung-ho about it, about doing it. And so we decided we were going to do this. So let's see how gross the floor we walk on. Yeah, so we only have carpeting in this office, which we did not clean because does not get a lot of foot traffic, and we thought that would be fine. Also, we needed places to put things. So we were going to do it in my parents' bedroom and my bedroom. That that's where the carpet is, and that's where we needed to do this. So yesterday I went ahead and moved all my gear in here because I wanted to have a lot of time to set up. I didn't want to be rushed, so moved everything in here. Yesterday got set up, kind of figured it out, took my time with it. Also took the opportunity, which I was gonna do next week anyway when I move all my gear. I took the opportunity to clean everything. I got that air duster. You saw someone, anonymous person, bought off my Amazon wish list. Thank you to the anonymous person that did that. Once again, made good use of that. Cleaned everything, wiped everything down. Really just got the dirt out. I was moving my desktop anyway, so I cleaned that and blew that air out of all dirt out of that. Even though I did that pretty recently, just did it because why not? And then also, that went on perfect. This is going on so nice and easy. That's such a pleasant surprise. It needs to fully go on, but usually, you may remember the other arm I did of this was a fucking nightmare. So, it still didn't go on that fast. I don't know why, but this just like has to be perfect. It's one of the few, like, there's no give to it. It makes sense that that would have to be perfect to slide on there, but it's always weird. Anyway, so cleaned everything up to hey, while I was moving my computer, right, and while I was opening up to clean it, let me throw in a hard drive from my old computer that I wiped, because it's an SSD, just to have another SSD in here, to have another place to store files, because one of my large hard drives is a mechanical drive that's starting to make. It's like a 2 terabyte drive. It's good for long-term storage, but like it has to come alive. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? Like it needs to like rev up, and so I don't like to use it. I like to use it for deep storage stuff, and it's just a backup, not to like actively use it during the day. So I was like, okay, let me do that, which was good. Got set up in here, and then yesterday I also vacuumed. I vacuumed at my bedroom. Cleaned the walls up, like that stuff was in front of. Used the air duster with the brush attachment to kind of clean up the walls and the trim and everything. Stuff that like it was just hard to do before because there was a bunch of stuff in there. Today I woke up through anything else that was going to be in the way up on my bed. My parents did the same. And then vacuumed both carpets, really deep vacuums, got the spots we didn't get for a while, the stuff that was hard to find, or hard to reach, I should say, not hard to find. And then just fucking got in there and went to town. And let me tell you, we might need a better vacuum. We might need a better vacuum. Like, our vacuum I thought was good, but it's not. It's not one of those things where it's like, hey, Jim just resubbed with Prime. That's 60 months. That's so many months. It's saying 60 months. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Nobody mentioned it, and I forgot to notice this. We're above 40, so we can turn that off. But thank you very much, Jam. Yeah, let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site, and if you're a Wrist fan, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank you very much, Jam, for 60 months. That's so many fucking months. Thank you for being a subscriber. All right, what do we need here? We need B2. Great. So, yeah, I'm like, do we need a better vacuum? Now, I know that this is because this is a carpet cleaner. So it goes deeper than a vacuum and pulls stuff up, and it's using water and, hey, Mr. Bob, and some kind of cleaning solution and all that, right? And it's a pet cleaner, so this thing is getting in deep, and a vacuum isn't doing that. I know this to be true, but also, holy shit, it dug up some stuff. I took a Claritin while I was changing the water because I needed to get more solution put in, and I took a Claritin because I was like, oh, that's no good. There's just a lot of dirt being kicked up by this thing. It worked really well. The process was easy. It was easy to put in the solution. It was easy to apply the solution. It was easy to move things around. Emptying the tank of the water that it was sucking up went really well. We're letting everything dry, air dry, and then tomorrow I'll go in and vacuum the carpets again, just to do one last thing, and then we'll put stuff back. So it's not on the beds anymore and all that. I'm probably going to sleep in that room tonight, but nothing's on the floor. I just moved everything out of that was in my room. But I think I'm going to sleep in there. And it's pretty much dry. It's not what is this? Where's this thing? I don't even know what this is. What the? Oh, okay. This is the arm. All right, now I know. This is the arm if you want to have the gun, attachment, I think. I think that's the gun arm attachment. So it's just do this instead of that. And then you just pop that off and it goes in there, I think. I can't remember. I'm going to skip ahead because I don't remember. I believe that is the attachment for having the gun, and this is the arm version for not having that. But I'm going to quickly, because we build the gun there. Yeah, we got to build all that. Because this is the master grade version of the gun arm, which is better than the other one. Yeah, we got the knife blade. No, we don't. Yeah, I guess you can put that on there if you just want to attach the gun that way. We're not going to do that attachment. We'll do the normal one. And we'll put the hand on this thing, because we got to put a hand on here. So, anyway, this is temporary. This setup in here I will be returning back to that bedroom tomorrow. Vacuum, put stuff back, set up my tables, try to set up everything exactly how it was. One of the things is that I put some painter's tape on my folding table, my square table, and the table on the side that has my third monitor. I put that on there, and I'm like, okay, well, if I do this, I will remember where it goes, but I'm not 100% sure exactly where the two tables go in my room. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to figure that out. But it should be fine. Hi, Pat. I don't know if you touched on this already, but a certain billionaire killed a Twitter app I have used for the last 4 years. Mr. Bob, we have not done a Twitter check-in in a while. But up until like today, it wasn't clear exactly what was going on. Now, to be fair, it's still not as fully clear, right? This is all speculation. As far as I know, and if this has changed, let me know, because I wasn't fully engaged on Twitter today. I was tweeting, but I wasn't like really paying attention. I do not believe that there has been an official statement. I believe this is all like internal things and someone just being like, hey, so what kind of statement should we make? It could just be them fucking up, which is not, it's not impossible. But yes, third-party apps are not working anymore. TweetDeck, if I remember correctly, is one. Tweetbot, maybe they bought Tweetbot back in the day. I can't remember. But anyway, the third-party apps that people use because they don't want to use the Twitter app apparently right now do not work. Now, I have the official Twitter app. I use it to post Flamingo. Oh, there you go. I use the official Twitter app to post photos when I am walking around, and I take a selfie of myself on a walk. So that's my main that. And then occasionally, like, you know, I'm like standing in the kitchen waiting for water to boil or whatever, so I'll get on my phone. Throughout the day, my course of action as far as using Twitter for promotional purposes, for checking in with friends, for shit posting, the like. When I'm on Twitter, I am often okay, so I need XB16. Great. I am often just using the web client. I'm just using the website, twitter.com. Now, I'm on Firefox, and I have the fantastic Firefox plugin, or add-on, I should say, not plugin, add-on, that I recommend thoroughly. I need B16 here. Minimal Twitter. Minimal Twitter is what I use to make Twitter a reasonable experience as far as it possibly could be in any way, shape, or form ever, in that I get rid of trending topics. I get rid of knowing what your view count is on the homepage. I get rid of who to follows and all of that. My timeline is always most recent tweet, not for you. And it won't revert back randomly out of nowhere because because they haven't just made it so you can't do that, but eventually they probably will. But right now you can click over the following. It just does following by default. All the stuff that like I don't see ads, all the stuff that makes Twitter actually reasonable that a lot of people use with their third-party apps. I'm just doing it on the website because I just have it as a tab. My daily driver tabs are Gmail, Twitter, co-host, Mastodon. Sometimes I close Mastodon and forget to reopen it. And then YouTube on a different Firefox window on a different monitor. And that's where all my video lives. My video's on one monitor, my website stuff is on another monitor, and my third monitor is Discord and OBS. I don't really use my third monitor. Move that out of the way. I don't really use my third monitor for anything outside of OBS and Discord. And then when I'm playing video games, it's on my video monitor. And when I'm watching stuff on Discord, because I'm in two different Discords where we watch a lot of stuff together. And for both of those, that goes to my video monitor. That's just a setup I've had for a long time. Is there a better setup? I'm sure. Having OBS on the monitor I have to turn my head to look at is probably not the best. I do have, because I use the Twitch dashboard, I do get to see stuff on there. So that is helpful. All right, so we need F15. But yeah, I probably shouldn't have OBS on my third monitor. Having Discord on my third monitor is probably for the best because I don't need to be looking at it. Even though I am a mod for a, I would say, fairly busy Discord. So I guess I should have it open, but I shouldn't use it as much as I do. Mr. Bob made a Mastodon account in a way I don't think that counts. There should be an instance just for shit posting. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I have a Mastodon account. I'm on social because that was the one that my friends were on, and I understood the federated thing, but I wanted archives of my friends' stuff early on when I was getting used to it, and then it stuck. I'm at Pat Baer at Mastodon at social. If you want to see my stuff, I'll say this: my Mastodon account does not get any, literally zero, unique content. My co-host gets stuff that I don't post other places, because it's more like a blogging platform. And Hive gets the least, because Hive is just an app, and it's not an app I particularly enjoy. And no one else that I follow I follow people, they don't really use it, so I'm not really on Hive. I'm kind of on Hive. Yeah, I can see that, Mr. Bob. A little bit. Yeah. So I'm not really using it. Okay. Hive has a team of like 2 people that doesn't engender that much trust. Yeah, so I'm not at the point, like, some people were like, this person changed their last name from one year to another, and it's mysterious. And I was like, no, it isn't. They're in their 20s. That's not mysterious at all. Someone in their 20s went from a public setting to their first real job. And they're like, they went to school in one place and had a job at another place. That's weird. And I was like, oh, you're a fucking internet detective. Cool. Like, being suspicious of people, right? Being, like, curious about stuff, not taking things at face value, I can get behind all those things. But I don't need internet detectives in my feed. You know what I mean? I just don't need... I don't need that. I don't need people who are like, well, on LinkedIn... It's like, no, don't look at people's LinkedIns. LinkedIn doesn't mean shit. It doesn't matter. LinkedIn is only good if you're trying to figure out if a studio is working on an unannounced video game or not. Yes. Healthy skepticism isn't necessary to shitpost. Yeah, so, yeah. You're saying it correctly. Skepticism is the word that I could have used in there and didn't specifically. I think being skeptical of people is totally reasonable and totally fair. But also, I do think some of the Hive stuff was like, hey, how come it's a conspiracy because suddenly a bunch of people I know are talking about this website or this app I've never heard of, so something happened. Now, do I think possibly it spread because it kind of fucking looked like Twitter? And also it had the weird thing where you could have music as on your profile page like it's fucking MySpace? Yes. I think the reason why that became popular out of nowhere pretty instantly is specifically because it just looked like Twitter that Elon Musk does not control. I think that's literally it. And like, I don't know. I got into it because like, the thing I don't want is someone to have at Pat Baer on something that's going to be good. Not that I think Instagram is good, but it's Pat Baer. I'm ITSPATBAR on Instagram because someone has Pat Baer. And that annoys me because I did not think that Instagram was going to be cool or that I would use it. So I didn't sign up when it was pre being purchased, when it was just like a thing that people were using. Mr. Rob says, I parked my Hive account, but its app would not let me post pictures for whatever reason. Yeah, so they had a trouble with the app has been updated and probably should work. You might have to delete the old one and reinstall, which is always annoying, and I understand that. They had an issue with like permissions in, I want to say Android, but probably everywhere. They had some permissions problems. Yes, Hive is also less difficult than Mastodon. But again, I just don't think Mastodon is that cool. I've had friends that have been on the Mastodon train for a long time, but they also aren't hardcore posters. Here's the thing, right? The biggest problem with Twitter is also its biggest strength, if I can say that. My opinion, right? The fact that everybody's fucking there and it is pretty much like the town square sucks and is bad for everybody, but also is very good for a certain amount of people, of which I am unfortunately one of. Look, when I decided that I was going to pause my acting education and focus on comedy because I was falling in love with it and because I was offered a job working at a place that I wanted to take classes and perform at and was falling in love with improv and sketch and writing. When I made the decision to pause my going to acting school, I did not think that the future of that would be me needing a website to work well and not be shitty and full of garbage so that people would watch my YouTube videos. Again, I should say this, YouTube, not a thing when I started doing comedy and taking classes and getting into that world. The end-all goal for my comedy career at that time was like, well, one of the founders got on SNL, and then one dude got on Mad TV at one point that was in our community. And then a couple people, like, got on TV, and then, like, Sam Riegel started doing voiceover work, but, like, I don't think that had anything to do with him being an improviser. I think that was just Sam Riegel busting his ass in the VO space and then moving to LA because he was losing jobs. That's right. Critical Hit's own Critical Role, not Critical Hit. Critical Role's own Sam Riegel, the voice of Teddy in the Persona 4 dub in video game, was an improviser in New York and was on a team when I was teching. It's kind of just starting out. But like when I started getting into comedy, these there weren't these things. There was not a YouTube. I did not think that having social media was going to become important. I thought Friendster was fun and MySpace was kind of cool. And then high school friends of mine got on it. And I was like, okay. And then when everyone could get a Facebook, I got a Facebook. And a large portion of my Facebook friends to this day are people that interned for like 6 to 8 months at UCB in the mid 2000 teens. And I don't know if we ever will communicate again with one another. But it's kind of nice that they, like, I don't know, occasionally one of them gets married. And I'm like, good for you, Christina. You were a good intern 10 years ago. I'm glad you're getting married. I hope it goes well. That's kind of nice. And then also, like, my relatives that I don't keep in touch with otherwise can be like, oh, this is on the wrong way. Can be like, hey, this is what's going on with me. Okay. This has to go in like this. Yeah. No. That doesn't feel right. Oh, no. Yeah. All right. Looking at this, the back is slightly elevated. So this might actually be accurate. But is the bottom of... Yes. Okay, this looks all right. I did want to point out here, I have not been talking about this model kit much as we assemble, because these are the old parts, not the new parts. I gotta tell you, friends, this kit starts with the chest, and then the head, then the arms, and then the waist. And I don't know why this is going to be in the shot. I can maybe... We'll zoom in a little bit here. That way you won't see the mic arm that way. There we go. I want to say, we're working on the waist here, which is not typical. Often, you do the chest, the head, then you do you do the chest, you do the head, then you jump down, Then it's time to do the arms, then the feet, and then the legs, and then the last thing you do is the waist, and then the weapons. And I gotta tell you, friends, I've never thought that made sense. I always like doing the waist next and then connecting the waist. Although, one thing I don't like is, why does this not want to connect properly? Why are you being weird, waist? It's gotta go low. Let's look ahead. No, this is flush. Is it flush there, but not there? And then I'm like, am I missing a step? Was something not communicated right? Am I looking wrong? Am I doing this just incorrectly? What's going on? What's wrong? Why am I spending so much time trying to shove these two parts together? Do I have this on backwards? Do I have this on backwards? Do I have this on backwards? I had it on backwards. And then that answers that question of like, why is this being so weird? Well, because I'm not doing it right. It's like, oh, easy answers. And then that goes like that. Great. It was not going on right because I wasn't doing it properly, which is, I don't want to say embarrassing. So I won't say embarrassing. Anyway, Twitter's a mess, and I'm sorry. I'm still on it because I still have plenty of people who check out stuff and click the link. Like, my percentage, if I look at it, right, and I pay attention to this stuff, the percentage of people who check out what I do on stream because of Twitter is still higher than people that just want to look at anything in the category of makers and crafting. And then the top one is people that like just come here on their own. Those are folks that are just hitting twitch.tv/PatBaer and just coming there. Like, that's still the number one. People just remembering what time it is and want to come to see what I'm doing. And then Twitter, and then external sites, which includes Twitter, I should say. Below that is people looking in the category of makers and crafting. And then the worst one of the top ones here, the one that annoys me the most is below that is people who click the notification, which means more people, average, check out what I do on stream because they're in the makers and crafting category, and I'm in the top 1% of makers and crafting, whatever that means, then people who get a notification that are watching someone else stream get a notification that I'm going live and click on that button. That's always kind of annoying me because I'm like, oh, I wish people would be like, oh shit, Pat's streaming and coming and check it out. I wish that happened more often. That's okay. I don't want to get bogged down into thinking about that stuff. God. Even though I took a Claritin, my throat is dry. I'm going to drink a little water here. Give me a moment. There we go. Sorry about that, but yikes. Very dry because of, I assume, all the dust that got kicked up. And I'm also in a room that I'm not normally in, so that changed things. Earlier I mentioned how I will be returning to my bedroom for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday stream. And then on next Saturday, I will begin my time from the Carolina room. It's a bigger room. Should be great. I have more space, and the most important thing is it's not in the bedroom. That'll not affect stream times or anything like that. My streams are going to be on their normal schedule with one exception. It will be 2 Saturdays from tonight. The 28th is WWE Royal Rumble. And I have decided that I am going to be watching that in its entirety at start time and not a later date. I'd rather watch it with some friends in a Discord and chat about it than stream my normal time. So instead of my 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern, which is my normal stream time, I will be streaming that night from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So it will be 4 hours before my normal stream. If you don't want to do the conversion in your head, just, 4 hours before normal. And it will end 4 hours before normal. I have made that decision. But like I said, I just want to hang out with my friends and talk and watch the whole thing. Even with WWE being in its weird state with Vince McMahon in charge of the company, actively looking to sell the company. And lots of questions about what's going on and what's going to happen. And the possibility that I might be done watching their programming entirely at some point. And all of that. Royal Rumble is always a show, though. Yeah, Royal Rumble is still good. Here's the thing. Last year's Royal Rumble was one of the worst ones in recent memory. Still pretty good. Also, it has become somewhat of a tradition now that Kevin Owens faces Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, and those matches are good. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns is fucking great. That's a great matchup. Those two wrestle well against one another. Take the whole handcuffs taking too long, you have to stand up, last man standing match ending aside, which was not the fault of either man. That's on Paul Heyman right there. But even like taking that consideration, like it's still a fucking great show that I'm like, yeah, I just kind of want to see it, and I want to see it as it happens and talk with friends. And I'm going to get Domino's delivered because I eat Domino's like once a year at this point, because that is not a thing that my folks want to get. And so I'm going to get here is my Domino's order. I do not do the Vinny Caravello. I don't go deep. I don't go in like that. I'm not trying to ruin myself. I am trying to ruin myself, but not from Domino's. Specifically. Do we do two? Okay. We just had Domino's today, says John. Just a medium pepperoni and hot peppers, thin crust. So I also get the thin crust. I get a small thin crust or meat. I get a medium thin crust with bacon and onion because the onion and the bacon grease mix together, and the onion kind of absorbs the bacon grease, and it's a good thing. And it's like it's its own weird thing that I enjoy. I need 9. I need XB9. I gotta find XB9. So I get that. I will get a cheesy bread because I like their cheesy bread, and that is usually my order. Now I might get the chicken whatever pieces. I don't know. I might get something else, but normally it's just those two things, and then like a ranch dipping sauce because that's always fun. And then I will eat all of the pizza and some of the cheesy bread, and I will save some of it because I got a toaster oven. Why not? I will save some of the cheesy bread for another time because I don't need to eat all of that fucking food in one setting. It is a long wrestling pay-per-view, so I might even reheat later. I don't want to reheat Domino's pizza, but I will certainly reheat their cheesy bread because I think that works out okay. But so that's going to be the 28th. So so a stream on the 28th. I'm not taking the night off, but it will be later or earlier than normal. And I think that's the only change in my schedule for a while. Until March, I want to say. Yeah, I think March, obviously things can change, but I'm not planning on changing anything up until the Crunchyroll's Anime Awards. Crunchyroll's Anime Awards voting is starting soon for that. And I will have a Pat Bear's Anime Club specifically about my voting guide. I did that last year. It'll be up, because voting's only open for a few days, so I'll just have it up as fast as I can, just to have something up for people that want to take a look at it. And then the award show, they're going to do award show again. Last year they just announced the results. This year they're doing it on March 4th, which is a Saturday. So I don't know when on Saturday it'll be, but I am going to co-stream the Anime Awards. They haven't announced that they are going to officially support co-streaming, but they have in the past, and I'm just going to fucking do it and then beg for forgiveness if there's an issue. So I will be co-streaming the Anime Awards on March 4th, which is a Saturday, and I just won't build model kits that day. Instead, we'll watch the Anime Awards like live and talk about it, because that felt like a thing that I wanted to do. Because I kind of like, I like being like, I can't believe, like, oh, this is who is gonna win. This is who I think should win. That is fun for me. I enjoy that. So I'll still have a guide up because it's nice to have that, the voting guide. I'll basically make it like as soon as I wake up that day, I'll just record myself voting, and then I'll post that like probably the same day, just so that people have that up and can look at it. Because voting, the audience vote is short. It's not a long process. So, let's see other things I can talk about here. We will talk about anime in the second hour. I am watching 4 shows currently that I'll be chatting about. I have narrowed it down to 4. We are at the point now where everything has as far as I can tell, everything that's coming out that I know about has debuted or will be debuting this week. So I am now trimming down the stuff that I started watching like 1 or 2 episodes in. I am trimming those down, and then I will then start adding in stuff that I kind of skipped. Like, I don't know, maybe I want to watch that anime about judo. Why is this not working? Oh, okay. Oh, it's got to go like that. There's a girls doing things anime about girls doing the judo that I'm like interested in checking out. I put this on backwards. I bet that will be bad. I put it on like this, and it should be like that, but there. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. There we go. Just flip it around, and we'll get it. We'll figure it out, y'all. Yeah. So now I'm like, well, maybe I want to check that out, or oh, people were talking about this show, so maybe I'll add that to my list and check it out. Because yeah, like 2 of the shows I watched today, because we'll talk about that in the second hour, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I thought it was good, but I don't know. Like, there were some choices made with some characters. Uh-oh. Shit. I just slid a thing off the desk here that I have to go under the desk to get, so we're going to the pre-show, because I now have to go, I have to crawl, and you're not going to watch that happen. You're not going to watch me do that. So, hold on. But I'm going to talk loud, and maybe you'll hear a little bit of it. Maybe you can hear me some as I now get down on my hands and knees and try to find this piece on this carpet, which is luckily... okay, well... Okay, well, I don't see... Okay, all right. That just slid right off, and I can't... Oops. Ugh. All right, we're going to come back into the overhead here. So, that slid right off, and there's also some bags under there, so I don't know where it went. This is why I don't stream Lego builds. I drop pieces all the time. So I don't usually drop things. Luckily, also, when I drop, it's usually on this side of the table. One of the benefits of the bedroom streams is that my table is against the wall, so stuff can't fall the way this did. So I'm going to have to find that. And that's frustrating. So basically, this part right here just won't happen tonight. And I will have to fix that on my own, but that's going to go like that and get covered up. And that's frustrating. because I would like to. I'd like to have that built, but I can't. Which is fine. So this is 6'3", is like that. Yeah. So this is 6'4". So one of the pegs on 6'4", unfortunately, is not going to work. So you have brown carpet. Yeah, this is actually a nice cream color. So this gray piece should be easy to find. It's just it's going to take me a little while to find it. Like, I'm going to finish this part after the stream is done. I'm going to crawl under there and dig around and find it. Also, when I move everything out tomorrow, I can also probably find it then. There's not a backup of this, so I could also, if I really had to, I could go and dig up my master grade, the Endless Waltz master grade version of the Heavyarms, and like, just so that I had that part, I could go find that, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to go digging around for that. So that's frustrating. It feels a little unprofessional of me to have dropped a piece like that. But that's what happened. You know, can't take it back. So just going to have to move on. I'll just like take the parts that we need for it and kind of set it aside, knowing that I can't fully put this together because I am going to need to I need a little part there. It's really annoying. If I hadn't put them on backwards, this wouldn't have happened. But of course, that unfortunately fucking happened. All right, so then we need over here. We'll also need A6 and A5. All right, so we'll just do that. While we're already here, let's see. Any other things coming up? GDQ. There's a bunch of GDQ stuff that's been happening that I think is worth checking out. I'm going to briefly chat about those and just to give you an overview there. The number one thing that I think you should check out, if you were going to check out anything from Games Done Quick, is the 6-player Power Wash Simulator in 33 minutes and 31 seconds, which is apparently, for this category, a world record. Apparently, they broke the world record for this nonsense category of utter nonsense. What is the Power Wash Simulator 6, the 6-player? Well, it is all vehicles, no soap. So they can use the most powerful sprayers, and all the vehicles, with the exception of one, that you can't use the powerful sprayer on. So it's an interesting category in that. But yeah, it is all of the... It is all the vehicles, 6 people. The host kind of calls time, and like when they reach 100%, they exit out and close the lobby. So you have to re-invite everybody in, and then like do a countdown and all that. I've never done the multiplayer in that game. It is really interesting because like there's an object, one of the vehicles, when you finish washing it, it leaves the screen, and in that run through, the characters were like some of the people were still there washing and standing on the top of the thing, and it hadn't left for them because the sync for all of them is a little weird in a way that I think is fun. That is a very fun stream that is up on their YouTube, so I think that is totally worth checking out if you're looking for something a little goofy, a little silly. I highly recommend that particular run because I think it's just very fun. Lots of weirdness with the multiplayer. And then outside the run, they did a train because you can't use like the best gear on the train track one, I guess. And so, but then for that one, they could use soap. Just as like a bonus, which I thought was fun. Let's see. That one is great. What other ones? Shout out to the community for doing the donation incentive for Celeste custom maps, which is just like a bunch of custom maps and kind of like the play style of Celeste, because it went up for like donation vote, and the name was Trans Rights, which of course trans rights. That was just fun and always nice to see at GDC or GDQ, not GDC. It would be nice to have that at GDC, but at GDQ, very fun to have. So that was neat, and also that those runs are fun and cool and weird. What other ones did I want to talk about here, real briefly? Hey, the bad games segments continue with Steven Seagal is colon the final option prototype. There is a prototype out there of a Steven Seagal game. It is not FMV, but it is like big sprites, and it looks fucking terrible, and it's broken as fuck because it's a prototype. And so, like, the speed run for it is like basically acknowledging and taking into consideration that there are levels in that prototype that are unplayable, and therefore you can only do so much in it because they just like some of it doesn't fucking work. Some of the levels are just broken. So they're just like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's a fun speed run, even if it's nonsense. Just complete nonsense. So I like that. Also in that game, a fun fact about that game, one of your buttons is knife throwing. You have like 250 lives and 250 bullets. And then also, you get all of your ammo back when you die. Because it's just, like I said, it's a prototype. It's not a finished project. It's just nonsense. It's just wonderful nonsense. That the other element of it is if you throw too many knives, it crashes the game. It's just like completely and utterly busted in a way that I can really get behind and think is pretty great. So that's Steven Seagal is the final option. Let's see. Trackmania Double Driver. Trackmania Double Driver is not a game where you share a controller. Because, sometimes those are speed runs where you share the controller and you got to do all that stuff. That's not what this is. That is not that kind of game. Each of you has a controller. There is one car. One person handles acceleration and braking. And both of you input directions. Left, right, tilt, quarter circle, whatever. And the game averages your inputs and gives the output is an average of the two of you. So if you bank left and the other person banks right in the same degree, it'll just go straight. Which doesn't make any sense, and I don't know how you do that, but that's what they did. And also, so obviously they were in the same room. GDQ this year is at home. It is all at home. So obviously they're in the same room because you wouldn't want to add in latency to that. But also, their commentator was in the same room. And so one webcam just had like 3 dudes in it. And I thought that was kind of neat. I thought that was fun. So if you're looking for something a little odd, that one I found to be pretty odd in a way that I can get on board with. That was Trackmania Turbo, I should say. Also, Neon White in 32 minutes. Followed immediately by Neon White in 13 minutes and 17 seconds. That's right. It was a double feature picture show. It was White's Heaven Rush, followed by Rainbow Heaven Rush. White's Heaven Rush is an any percent with all the dialogue and cutscenes cut out of it. So it's just all of the goddamn levels. It's just all of the goddamn levels. Let's panel line this before we assemble as much as we can, because we are missing a piece, and I gotta go find that after the stream. So we'll do that. So we'll just get this going in here. Just clean up all this. We can do that too, because why not? Then we'll do the other color, and then we'll erase. So, and then the Rainbow Heaven Rush is just every single side quest. Lots of like not manipulation, but like using the geometry to your advantage. Lots of speed running strats that are like, this game is 6 months old and there are already so many strats, and like the world record is like something under 30 minutes, and that's nonsense. I do really appreciate that like folks are going hard on this game that like just came out and are going deep in it. I think that's neat, and obviously it's kind of built for speed running, and or at least appreciates that speed running is a thing. So I thought that was neat. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD for the PC. This is not 1 and 2. This is the HD one. Which was fun. They did not run the soundtrack, which is a bummer. But it makes sense why people that are practicing or doing a GC would not have the cool soundtrack. Although they, apparently people in the speedrun community have put together Spotify playlists of all the songs so that like people who are watching the speedruns can have music play at the appropriate music playing, which I appreciate. I think that is a fun choice. So, okay, so this is going to go here. Okay. Front skirt activated, which also includes missiles, because you got to have them. Oh. And hooked on. Can't put that on, so we go on to there. And again, reminder that I did drop a piece that is necessary for this to hook on. So I could get this assembled, like I could do this part, but I don't have, or this part, but I don't have the part on here that would clip it on. So I can only do this part of it. It's not done. So I'll use your imagination. That goes there. Got to find that part. All right, so we did that. We're going to start with jumping down to the feet, which we will be doing next. But we're going to take a pause for the cause, talk about ways you can support the channel and all that. I've got one more GDQ game to talk about, which we will talk about at the very end of the stream. And then, hey, Lord Crash said, welcome. And Harold's here. Welcome, Harold. Throwing in the emotes. But also, yeah, more about GDQ as it happens. I'm not watching any of it live, but I am watching it on YouTube, and I'll talk about ones that I checked out on YouTube that I thought were neat and wanted to chat with you about. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. As you know, I have subscribers, and that is the easiest way to support what I do here. People are already throwing in the chat the emotes. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Barricade, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote. If you are a Tier 2 subscriber, like Aristovan is, or, you know, me, I have access to that emote. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money, which we had tonight. People subscribing like that way, or for people that were renewing with their Prime gaming token because they have Amazon Prime linked to their Twitch, they put those two together. Yeah, we did it. And then I get money from that, and I can use that money for things. Also, bits and coins are always appreciated. We don't have anybody donate any bits, no cheer this month, which is okay. And we had 2 gifted subs. That's another way to help out the community. If you already subscribed or you don't have any interest in subscribing, you want to help out somebody in the community, you could gift a sub to somebody, and that would be great. If you wanted to do that, that would be cool. Obviously, you don't have to do that. That is just a thing you could do. Gifting subs is an easy way to let people know, like, hey, I like this. And here you go. Don't have some cool emotes and don't see ads before the stream starts. Like, that's nice. It's nice that those things happen. Other ways to support what I do here. Well, you could always join my Patreon. If you don't want to join here on Twitch, but you still want to give me a monthly subscription of some sort, go over to patreon.com/BatBear. There are different rewards for different tiers, and the tiers are $1, $3, $5, and $10. And again, different rewards for different tiers. I'm going to scooch in my chair a little bit here. Hold on. I didn't sit down properly when I got up from trying to find that piece that I dropped. But yeah, different rewards for the different tiers. Take a look, see if there's something that interests you there. YouTube.com/PatBaer is another way to support what I do here, because you can always just go over to my YouTube. Subscribing is obviously free over on YouTube. But if you wanted to become a member, if you wanted to join, for $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. Small little thing, but like, I don't know, helps me out a lot. And then if monthly is not the way you want to support what I do here, well, what about a direct donation? A one-time gift. You could definitely do that through my PayPal directly, or Stream Elements, or Coffee. Anything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits for that. Most of this kit was purchased with a giant gift card that I got at Christmas. But the rest of it, because it was more expensive than a big gift card to Amazon, came from funds from folks like you. And I thank everybody who's ever subscribed, or who's ever like joined the Patreon, or did a one-time donation of anything. Thank you all so much for that. Now, I've got a backlog of model kits that I would be happy to build from when this kit is done. There is a way to make me not build my backlog and instead build something else. And that's buying something from my Amazon wish list, which would then, if you bought it, it would jump the queue. It become the next thing that I build when it's time to decide on the next kit. And I would go to that. I would also shoot a video for my YouTube, dedicated video about the thing that you purchased. I've got Lego sets. I've got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. I added recently some new kits in there that are actually pretty reasonably priced, honestly. And some have free shipping, some have Amazon Prime shipping, some have just like Prime free shipping, which is somewhere in between those two things. I don't know. Lots of different Lego sets, some model kits, some inexpensive kits, some expensive kits, some gear, because it's always fun to have gear. And I was talking about like how there's a self-heal sewing mat, which a lot of people use to build on. And like that would be kind of nice to have to build on instead of directly on the table, because then I could like, keep that really clean, and then just move it out of my way. Some gear, like I said, at the bottom, because sometimes people like want to help out, but they're not sure what to purchase and what would actually help me. Well, you give me something like that. Yeah, take a look, see if there's anything there that you'd like to see me build on stream that you'd be interested in purchasing. With no, obviously, not necessary. I also have a Throne wish list. That's an alternative to my Amazon wish list, because it's nice to have alternatives. And then also you can just go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. The most convoluted way to support what I do here is to go to USA Gundam Store, create an account if you already don't have one, buy a gift card, which is a digital gift card, then get the gift card code, and then send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter, because my DMs are open while that site exists still. And you could send me a gift card code, and then I would use that gift card code at USA Gundam Store, and I would most likely buy something from Witch from Mercury, because I would like to build something from that, because I've only built one thing from it so far. So that's all the ways to support me that cost money. Join my Discord if you want to hang out with like-minded individuals. Very chill Discord. You're more than welcome to join that. A couple of video links for you to check out before we get back into building and talking about some anime. Okay, what are we going to do here? Oh, yeah. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I will have a new episode out on Monday, which is my top 10 of 2022. That's right. I did make a video. It is 30 minutes plus of me talking about my 10 favorite anime of 2022. But also, if you just wanted to know like what I liked last season and what I'm excited about what I was excited about this season, if you want a preview of some of the stuff that's now out, check that out. That episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. There's some stuff there that I think you'd like. And then Baerly Rehearsed is a new Wednesday series. Every Wednesday I put a new video out. I'm making comedy videos. I'm making like intentionally funny comedy videos. Pre-written material, barely rehearsed. It has been rehearsed, just not a lot. Check out the second episode of Barely Rehearsed, which is based on recently me watching a trailer and thinking, wait, this actor I like is making good movies, and he's not making he's not just he's making good movies, he's not making a bunch of bad movies. I'm going to make a video about that. And then be playing around with, like, could I make a video that looks like I'm in a Zoom call? And the answer is yes, I can do that. The secret is recording myself on a Zoom call. And it turned out to be actually very easy. So I made that. If you didn't check that video out, check that out. I'm excited about this new series, new video for that coming this Wednesday, which I have not recorded yet. I'm going to record that on Monday when I'm back in that room. All right, I have to drink more water, and then we got to get into some anime talk because I got 4 shows to chat with you about, so we'll do that. And then, as you know, if you've been here before, we're dramatically returning to our overhead camera shot as we start working on feet because, yes, this mobile suit, it's got feet. We're going to dramatically transition right now. I'm not too like worried about like this camera angle and all that because it's going away to, it's going to go back to how it usually is tomorrow. So like the mouse has been in the shot. I'm not directly center on this one. Like I could have posed it better, all that stuff. We didn't do any of that. Anyway, let's build some feet and talk about some anime. We've got Unprofessional Pat. I know, right? So, I got 4 shows to talk to you about. 3 of these shows are isekai. They're different kinds of isekai. They are different. Actually, 2 of them are isekai. I'm sorry. Yeah, Endo and Kobayashi Live, the latest on Tsundere Villainess, Lieselotte, Lieselotte. It's a tough name. That's not an isekai. But it is a video game, like Otome. It is a Otome game where characters can communicate with video game characters, which is weird. And then, of course, Farming Life in Another World and Saving 80,000 Gold in Another World for My Retirement. Those are both isekai. And then Buddy Daddies is a crime caper. Buddy Daddies is 2 men and a little lady, where those 2 men are assassins. Basically, it is like the Professional but hijinks, I guess, is another way to look at it. We'll get to that in a second. We've got to start with Endo and Kobayashi Live. Endo recently joined the broadcast club. He and Kobayashi are practicing. She wants to spend time with him, and she wants somebody to talk about video games with. So she's like, hey, let's do commentary. Let's do commentary over this game. We're going to play it. You're going to do play-by-play and just describe what you're seeing, describe the action. I'll be color commentary. I'll give you like background because I played the fan game and I'm familiar with it. And by fan game, they mean like the somewhat non-professional, but actually very professional, like thing that came out that's like background bonus material game. Like, so I'll be color commentary. I have experience with all this. You just be play by play. It's basically like, let's do a let's play, but just for the 2 of us, right? So sure. Turns out their running commentary can be heard in the first episode by the Prince. And you've got your usual Otome game thing, right? You've got your main character. She has magic, so even though she's a commoner, she is accepted to a prestigious school. But because she's a commoner, doesn't know what's going on, she's bullied, and then she's helped out by the Prince. But of course, that upsets his fiance, who is a mean old villainess. And then eventually, she is distraught because the love of her life chooses the commoner and not her. And then her weakness is exploited by the Witch of Forlorn. And everything fucking sucks and it's a bad time. And going into it, Kobayashi is like, hey, here's the deal. This is the video game. This is, I'm excited about it. I actually think that she's not really a villain. She was hurt, and she was angry that her fiance was hanging out with this girl and not her. But, like, it's understandable. And also, is she a villainess or is she Tsundere? Is she, like, really actually likes the crown prince and, like, would like to make friends and is nice, but just, like, they don't have a concept of Tsundere, so, like, nobody knows that's the deal, right? Isn't that maybe the case? And here's the thing. The prince hears them when they say that. And he's just like, who am I talking to? And they're like, who are you? Wait, who are you Wait, what? Now, they're high school kids. They don't dwell enough, in my opinion. There's not much time spent going, hey, this is fucking weird, right? Because it is. Instead, they're like, okay, I guess we'll help. And here's the thing that happens in this game, this anime, that I think is really interesting in a way that I think is fucking cool and I'm on board with. Because it's a fucking fantasy world, and gods can communicate with people, and divine intervention is a thing that happens in the video game within the anime, and the prince is just like, I've had a revelation, people are communicating with me, gods are talking to me. And people aren't like, oh no, the prince has lost his mind. They're like, oh shit, the prince can hear voices of the divine? That rules. Well, what's going on? Everyone's just like, yep, we're on board with this. Totally. This is going to be like, hell yeah, sounds great. Prince is doing it up. Hope that they're being helpful. And he's like, so what's Tsundere? And they're like, Lise. We're just going to call her Lise. Lise Tan is what they call her in the fan community. The fictional fan community within the world that the video game is a video game in the anime. They're like, Lise Tan, or Lise, actually really cares about you and really likes you. She's just shy and she is trying hard. He's like, what? I mean, you're all powerful, but what? And they're like, hey, kiss her. And then watch her reaction. And he was like, oh my God, you're right. Because he does kiss her and she like doesn't know what to do. And like, just like blushes a lot and just like has a cute side. And he's like, oh, you're right. She's really cute. My fiance is very cute. Oh, weird. Which is just like a very fun reaction to have. Anyway, at the end of the first episode, there's like another person who is apparently a model, which is a weird thing to be specific about, but he's playing the video game too. And apparently his favorite character is the heroine, Fine. Fine is like his favorite character. He's like, I'm going to make sure Fine like wins this game and like does really well. And it's like, why are we seeing this fucking dude? That's strange. Whatever. Figure it out later. Anyway, this episode, we find out why. It's episode 2. So, we got a little bit of romance. Oh, also, it doesn't matter, but Endo has a crush on Kobayashi, and I think that's the reason he joined the club, was to spend time with her. And I love that she's, like, gung-ho about a otome game, but, like, clearly does not seem to notice that this dude is into her at all. That's fun, but like not super important yet. Maybe it will be. Anyway, so he Endo played the fan game, and he's just like, okay, she is great. We're gonna save her. We're gonna make sure that like she gets a happy ending. Let's do this thing. And then also, Kobayashi's like, hey, you know who I'd like to save as well? A guy who does the right thing but dies in the game. Her cousin, who ends up having to fight his own cousin. Like, we gotta save, like, Balder. That would be great, right? Because he can die in the game. And then also, it's not just the prince that can hear them. Balder can hear them. And then Lise can hear them. And apparently, every fucking person, like the three of them can now hear them. And it's very funny because they're like so fucking awkward about it. And they're like, well, okay, anyway, we can hear their voices because I guess we need to be supporting you. So, hey, we're going to support you. And like he said, like, they've said, like, you know, we want to help you, we want to save you, and all that. They're like, cool, thank you so much. And then, one of the other, because it's an Otoma game, so like the prince is obviously a romance target, but there are other romance targets, and so we eventually meet Archer, and Archer's like, hey, I've been hearing a lot of rumors that you've been spending a lot of time with a freshman, and you're like hitting on a freshman, Fine, which is moving the plot forward because he hasn't really been doing that at all. And so we know, hey, that's not part of the plot. That's strange. And so apparently, and this is the thing that I did not know coming into this. I knew that, like, oh, while these two play a video game, they can affect things by, like, having the characters hear them, and that will affect what happens in the game. That's interesting. I knew that was the premise of it, right? But also, apparently, another part of the premise is that this model guy that we don't know is also playing the video game, and the choices he makes to the main character, Fiona, affect the game. So, like, even though the prince hasn't spent time with her, the rumors are there. And then later, they learned that Fine is, like, maxed out health, so like even when this monster, when the witch attacks, it's not going to be a fucking problem for her. She's like basically like, oh well, she can only use magic, but she has like magic punches, which she should not have at that stage of the video game. So that was an odd thing. Basically, this dude playing is also altering the game world. And then we end with some romance stuff, right? Like, Lise gives Fine a spare wand because she really doesn't have a good one. It's like, hey, take this, and then like, oh, and everybody recognizes like, oh, the reason why this is happening is because like that's your tsundere way, and you're really cute, and get a compliment, and then she blushes. So that's weird, right? That like another person playing their copy of the video game also affects the world, and I guess that makes sense, but it fucking doesn't. It's just a weird thing in this video game. It's the weird logic of this game. So a lot more is happening in this than I thought. I thought this was just like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, like but like an anime. I thought that's what we were getting. Instead, like there's like some metaphysical stuff that I was unprepared for. But still, I'm going to keep watching it. Animation quality is really wasn't as good in second episode. I'm hoping that's not going to be consistent because that was a little like, oh, that's a shame. So I'm hoping that that was just like a one-off, and that it's going to be a better production overall. But I still enjoyed what I watched of it. It is still a pretty cool series so far, and I'm looking forward to watching more of it. And I'll be talking about that on Saturdays. Farming life in another world. So, reminder, this is a dude who died and was reincarnated, and surprised God by just wanting, like, 'cause he was like a black company worker. He just wants, like, I want to have a help, no, he didn't. This wasn't the black company one. This is the I wanted to work really hard, but I couldn't work really hard because I was sick. So he's like, I want a healthy body and I want to farm, because my favorite video games were farming games. So I want to do that. And so he's got like, even though he asked for like not much, the gods still gave him like a ton of shit, like overpowered nonsense. Like, he's got this unbreakable weapon, but it's a hoe, and it can like do all crazy farming stuff. And he's got like a perfect body. Anyway, he's out in this place called the Death forest, and then it opens with God realizing, oh, I fucked up. I put him in this terrible place. Anyway, whatever. He'll die soon, and then when he dies, I'll reincarnate him again. I'm making a note of it. I'll just reincarnate him again, and I give him a better life this next time. Which, spoiler alert, does not happen because he figures shit out pretty easily. Because he's overpowered. He can decide which seeds the tool sows with his mind. He's got a bunch of wolves that he saved, and like they're like protecting the fields and helping guard that in exchange for food and shelter. And they find a giant spider. And the spider weaves really comfortable clothing in exchange for living in the giant tree at the center of the field because it looks appealing. He names that spider Zabuton. And Zabuton is secretly the best character in the anime. Doesn't talk. He's just a cool spider. Just a cool big spider that hangs out and is neat. So the thing is, like, he's got food, he's got, like, animal companionship, but he's still, like, pretty fucking lonely, honestly. Especially when the wolf puppies go out and find mates, and then they come back with, like, kids and mates, and he's like, yeah, you can stay. And then Zabuton, like, disappears, and we don't know if Zabuton, like, went to go find a mate or was already pregnant, but anyway, a bunch of baby spiders are just hanging out now, which is cool. Now there are just baby spiders chilling, and that's fun. Okay, so we did the feet. We normally would do the ankles, but we have to do different ankles. So we'll do different ankles over here, and then we'll go back to that. Basically, because we're going to put leg extensions on the backs of these feet that attach in the ankles, we can't do the normal one. So we just have to do a variation of them. We basically just have to leave, like, parts of it uncovered, but it's fine. It's easy to do. So we'll just do that now. And let's see. Farming in Another World, still talking about that. Zabuton is the better Charlotte. Yeah, yes, Dirty. Exactly. Also, hi, Dirty. Anyway, so you might remember, if you were watching the first episode, there was a mysterious girl that was entering the woods. And then in the spring, he finds that person, like, you know, like that was traveling in the woods. Is like a child vampire. And he's like, okay, yeah, I guess you could have some blood. And then she is actually an adult, and she was just small because of lack of blood. And she's just like, hey, wow, I'm a researcher, like I'm a medical researcher, and it's amazing that you have all of these, like, wonderful crops. Like, you've got vegetation here I've never seen before, you know, because he's from another world. That's wild. Hey, and then he's like, hey, you know, we're getting to know each other. I know this is sudden, but, you know, you got, somebody was trying to steal your research and for nobles, and you ran away and you're hiding out. Like, do you want to stay here? And she's just like, yeah, you seem neat, and this is a cool place. And then they're like, and then she's just like, yeah, but like I can't live here unless we're like engaged. So they get engaged. That's right. It's happening that fast. That's all it takes, friends. And then basically, he adds an herb garden with her research help, and then at the end of the episode, a different young lady enters the Death Forest, setting up another character that will be added to the story, and that is the second episode of Farming in Another World, Farming Life in Another World, I should say. I like this anime. It's not that nothing about this anime is good, but it's all fine and easygoing and like totally worth checking out, in my opinion. It is a very fucking chill anime, and I like watching chill anime. Okay, so we gotta do that. So I would say if you're looking for something chill and you want an isekai that is like fun and like mixes it up with characters. Like there's going to be a bunch of look. This anime is filled with characters that are just going to show up and have a good time. And if you want that, I would say this is the show for you. Buddy Daddies. I don't know if this is going to be the last episode of Buddy Daddies that I watch or not. I don't quite fucking know what's going on with Buddy Daddies. If I'm like, look, first off, obviously, the name, outstanding. The name is outstanding. The name is killer, can't be beat. What a fucking name. Holy shit. Just a great name for an anime. Buddy Daddies. Like, mwah. We're going to build parts of the legs because we can build a lot of the legs together at the same time. So we'll do that. Obviously, these are the ankle parts here, which go into the leg, I believe. Let me check here. Yeah. Top like that. Okay. Yeah. So we can just put that with that. We can just put the ankles on the feet right now, and we'll do more of that later. Cool. Okay, baby daddies. We'll talk about that while I am starting to do some of the legs. We're moving on to the legs. That's right. This kid has legs. Weird. I know. Okay, what else can I tell you about? Okay, yes. I actually talk about it. So, the premise of this one is you've got the, like, kind of goofy guy. You've got the serious guy. Not a lot about these dudes, really. We don't really know a ton about these dudes. They're assassins. They work together. They've got a boss. One of them has, like, left his pregnant wife because, like, it was just safer for her because of his job and has regrets about that. Will that come up again? I don't know. Maybe that's why the girl is there. But we've got Miri. So episode 1 was a mess in that our girl Miri just shows up while our friends are going to assassinate someone, because it turns out she got sent there by her mom to go find her dad. And now, does the mom know that her dad was a human trafficker, drug person that was going to get murdered? We don't know. Probably didn't know about the murder part, even if she knew about the other parts. But she didn't. Definitely should not have sent her daughter there. Her daughter gets kept held up and messed with stuff, and our two heroes have to go save her. And they're like, what the fuck do we do? Like, hey, we want to send you back to your mom. And she's just like, I don't know where my mom is. I'm a fucking kid. She doesn't swear, but you get the impression. She doesn't know. So then they're like, all right, fine. Stay here, because we're going to go. Yeah, all right. We're going to ask our, handler, the person that hires us. We're going to ask them to research stuff about you, trying to figure out who you are, right? Let's do that. Because we're going to try to find, basically, like, they don't want to tell this person, hey, things got complicated in our last job, and now we got a kid hanging out here. Instead, they would rather be like, hey, can you do some research on the many girlfriends of this guy? Because, like, we've got to find something out about them. Like, they're going to play it fucking cool and just, like, hope they get away with it. Oops. No. Oh, no. Yes, this goes like that, and then this is going to go... Alright, yeah. Yeah. I have built these legs so many times because the legs of all of the Gundams in Gundam Wing are pretty much identical, with the exception of, like, how the ankles look. Basically, that is the extent of it. But otherwise, they're pretty much identical. So it's pretty easy to put these together. I have a good sense memory of this particular way to do this. So I'm not too stressed about that. Anyway, he's angry about how they messed up that last assassination. They get the new message. Also, their handler is being like, there's another assassin on the scene called Ogino. And what's going on with Ogino? We don't know yet. Anyway, they find that Miri has trashed the place because they left a kid alone. Also, at one point, that kid has a gun, which is not great. That was not the intention. They did not want to have that kid to have a gun. So they're like, oh no, this can't happen. And they're like, all right, well, we've got to do this job. So I guess the kid has to come with us. So then they're like, yeah, because that's right. They gotta take down a drug kingpin. And they're like, I guess we have to take this child with us. So immediately we're doing this. This is, obviously like not a good idea, but this is the thing that's happening is we're going to take a kid with us on that. Let's see. But then the girl unfortunately exposes them and they almost get killed and they have to escape and they don't even kill their target, which obviously sucks. They fucked up. They get fired from the mission, but also, hey, we think we know who Miru's mom is. So they're like, okay, great. We can get this kid out of here. And then that Ogino guy does the job that they were supposed to do and goes in and kills the target and then also all his guards. And it's like, okay, is this going to be a problem? Are they going to, we don't know. Are they going to, like, or, the kid going to get, is the kid in trouble? Is the kid going to be okay? Are they going to send it's like, well, we don't know. We don't know what's happening. We don't know where this is going. Like, we hope everybody's going to be okay, but we don't know. Let's see. So this is going to go on here. Again, I do sort of remember how this goes by muscle memory, but I'm not saying that I am perfect on these things. And then this goes like that. So I don't know. I don't know if Buddy Daddies is like, obviously, killer name. Buddy Daddies, A+ name, very good. Very much a fan of that. I don't know if this show has like legs. Like we'll know next episode probably if like I don't need to know right off the bat if they're like gonna keep this kid or not. But like I kind of need to know. I don't know. There would be a little bit like I was kind of expecting episode 2 to have something to make me like want to root for these guys because right now I'm like, I mean, yeah, they should definitely not have this kid around. They're assassins. Like, yeah, no duh. But I would like to have a... Okay, did I put this on too soon? Yes, I think I did. I would like to have a reason to want these two dudes to spend time with this young lady. And right now we do not have that. It would be best for her to not be there. Obviously, we don't know what her mother is like. I mean, her mother did send her daughter off to go be with her dad, who is, clearly not a good dude. So we do know that for at least a little bit, that the mom is not making the right calls here. So I said I knew how this worked, and that is not a lie, but then also I was running into issues, and that's fun. It's always fun when I'm like, yeah, I know how to do this. I can do this. I've done this a million times. Screws up. Wonders why things are weird. All right, and then... All right, the inner frame of this leg is done. We can do the inner frame of the other leg. Well, I'll tell you about saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. Another show that I'm like, there's something about this that's really interesting, but I don't know if it's good or not. The premise of this one is our girl almost died, but in wanting to live so badly and so much, she accidentally stole the powers of a deity that was like living in her house and stole some of his powers. So now she can transport herself back and forth between Earth and a fantasy world. And then that person gave her the ability to communicate with people. And probably some other things, and then he disappears. He just takes off. So that's all weird. Our girl has been through it, right? Her parents and her older brother died. Obviously, that's tragic and sucks. And then she didn't get into the university she wanted to get into, and bills are piling up, and it's just like, and then also she almost fucking died. So like she's not having a good time of it. Things are not going as well as she would like them to go. So when the opportunity, so she realizes like, okay, well, I have access to this world, which is neat and weird. It's weird that I have this power. What if I can take advantage of it? Because in her head, she has the memories of her older brother, who was an otaku. He's a big-time nerd boy. And so she imagines, based on his knowledge of, isekai and the other world genre, because he played video games and read about them, what kind of advice he would give to her. And basically she's just like, okay, there must be a way for me to make a bunch of money and so I can retire. And here's the thing that I think is interesting. So it's not just, this is a twist on it that I like. It's not just, I need to figure out a way to make money so I can retire and I can use, between this fantasy world and my world, there'll be a way for me to do that. She cannot guarantee that she will always be able to transfer between worlds. So she's like, I need to make sure that I have enough money in both worlds that I live so that I can retire in either. And so she decides she needs to make 80,000 gold coins in a fantasy world. And that if she makes that much money, she will be set for life in both worlds. So that is the premise of this particular show, is her figuring out how to make that kind of moolah in both worlds. So that's the premise. And then this episode, she's like, okay, well, let me figure out, like, what are Japanese products to the fantasy world? She does a lot of research, right? Which is smart. She's like, what kind of products could I make that would be valuable in both worlds? That would be, like, things that both worlds would want and I can corner the market on. And then she learns that, like, okay, the feudal lord in a neighboring area is cool. So she's like, I'm going to go to the capital. That's a better place to make money. She promises the girl that she became friends with that saved her in the first episode, and then she saved her. They saved each other. Colette, she's like, look, I got to go do this thing, but just know that I'll be back for you, and I promise. And then she's like, okay, well, I thought about the products that would sell well there that I can make, that I can get in Japan. But also I'm going to have to take care of myself because it's a fantasy world. What do I need to do? I'm going to go to Wolffang, which is a private military company, and I'm going to learn to shoot guns, and I'm going to learn self-defense, and also purchase guns. Yes, this not in college yet young lady figures out that that decides that the best course of action for her is to learn about guns for the fantasy world she's going to, which feels weird. And I don't think it's justified at all in the text. It's just weird. It's a weird choice. Just weird. And then she also negotiates that, like, the gold coins, yes, Aristophan, like a private military organization with an arms dealer, like, head of it. She negotiates with the arms dealer at this PMC for training and to buy guns. And also, the thing that you would wonder, like, hey, how's she going to make, like, the money she earns adventuring in that world? What's she going to do with that with that currency, apparently the gold coins in that world he will accept in exchange for local currency, which is convenient and feels weird, but sure, I guess that makes sense. So that way she can. So basically, her plan, it seems like, is, yes, her deceased brother told her to do it. Yes, I mean, like, look, at a certain point, her not her hallucination, her envisioning what advice her brother would give her led to that decision. So what I'm saying is, she decided in her head this is the thing that her brother would think is a good idea, because he's not a ghost, as far as I know. In this, so yeah, so she's gonna use modern technology in Japan in the other world to make money, and then convert some of that money into yen. And then she's also researching like feudal societies to see like what she can buy and sell for profit. And then she's like, all right, well, I got to go to the capital and do more research. I am not sure if I am done with this series or not, because it's so much setup, right? There was some action in the first episode. There was like, they explained why things are happening, which is often nice to have. It was probably maybe they didn't need in the first episode to explain it. Yes, Dirty. If you want to take the show at face value, because he was an otaku, he talked about the stuff that's interesting him, and because she loved him so much, she remembers everything that he said about those worlds, and but also, no, she didn't. It's stupid. Like, no. And then also, even if she does remember all that, let's say she does have a photographic memory of all of the weird, nonsensical advice that her brother gave her in the event that, she'd be as a guide, or in actuality, if he, like, remembered, or if he was, like, giving her advice on it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's nonsense. But also, like, she's still listening to him, which is like, okay. So she's like, yes, everything in this world is weird, but the thing I can rely on the most is the memories I have of my brother and what he would do in this situation. And it just feels very weird in a way that like I said, I just don't know if I'm going to keep. I think the premise is kind of interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to keep watching it. Don't know if I'm done with this or not, is what I'm saying. And then, if you're wondering, Pat, when's the part of the stream where you talk about Trigun? The answer is I don't. I did not watch episode 2 of Trigun Stampede. I have, after watching episode 1, I am not going to continue watching that. Now, I may come back to it later. It may be a thing that I watch in the future. It's possible. It is possible that I might watch that again at some point. But I don't think so. Maybe it's fucking great. I didn't love the animation style. I didn't love the CG of it. I thought some of it looked really good and other stuff looked really flat and weird. And I don't know, like, I'm fine with the redesign, like, sure, whatever. Even the part where they're like, we're going to change the gun, which felt weird to me. Like, sure, I guess I'm okay with that. Fine. I think the thing I'm really just unhappy with is just like, Millie's gone and replaced with a fucking dude named Robert De Niro. Like, it's just going to take me a long time to be okay with the fact that this show's main character is named Robert De Niro. It's an alcoholic reporter named Robert De Niro. And, like, I know I should be like, whatever. There was a South Korean comic that I stopped reading, and I think eventually it wasn't continuing, so it was okay. But the thing that like made me pause on it, maybe it wasn't South Korean, maybe it was a Chinese comic. I can't remember. But there was a comic that had a supporting character in it that was named George Lucas, and it wasn't like a George Lucas parody. He wasn't like a director or something. He didn't look like George Lucas. His name was just George Lucas, and I was like, no, I can't. I don't think I could deal with a character named fucking George Lucas. Not fucking George Lucas. George Lucas. I don't think I could deal with that. And then it turned out I didn't have to deal with that because I don't think I continued reading it, or maybe it didn't get picked up or something. But whatever. Luckily, I was saved from having to constantly be reminded that there was a character in that. Hey, if you can get Robert De Niro on your show, you should go for it. No. No, Worst fan. That's not what happened. In 2023 or 2022, when they were planning this new reboot, they were like, you know what, we need to name we got a new character. We got to name this new character. Let's go with Robert De Niro. That is a name that exists. Is the character in any way related to Robert De Niro in any way, shape, or form? Maybe, probably not. It could be, but I don't think so. Yeah. That's not the only reason. The Robert De Niro-ness is one of the reasons. That's not the only one. Mostly it's just I didn't think it was that good, and I also don't think the Trigun needs to be brought back. Like, while I don't think it's a good adaptation, because I bounce right off it, I like the idea that Orphan is back. The anime adaptation of the manga. There was a video game. Sorcerer Stabber Orphan is back, and they're continuing the story past where they were the first time they did the anime, and that's cool. I think for fans of that, it is neat that you're going to have more. I think that's very cool. But at the same time, I just don't want, like, I just don't think Trigun, needed a new adaptation. Just my opinion. Just make other stuff. Make new stuff. Anyway, we got a bunch of stuff done without getting, too much done. But we got the legs done, or some of the legs done, and we got the feet done. This kit, we're not going to finish this on Monday because the weapons are big. We got a big weapon to build, and we got to build finish the legs and do I think we're going to finish this on Thursday. That's my guess. And we got to build a shield and a knife, wrist knife, all that. So I don't think we're finishing this on Monday, but we will finish it, I think, on Thursday. So I'll probably do a poll of what to build next. Let me show you what it looks like over here so you can take a gander at all the work that we did. That is going to do it for tonight's stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream. My Monday stream, as a reminder, I'll be back at the back in my bedroom for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and then a week from today on Saturday, I will be checking out, or I'll be moving into the office, or not outside the office here, moving out into the Carolina room, as we call it. It's the bonus room. It's the add-on to the place. But I'll have a lot more room there, and I'll build a set, quote unquote. There'll be something behind me with a bunch of model kits on it, and it will look nice. Question mark? Probably. So check that out. As John says, we always end with a raid. We're going to find somebody doing some stuff out there we want to hang out with. Go send them some love. I'm going to see who's doing things on there that we can go hang out with. Who is doing stuff? Let's see. Okay. I thought maybe we could go hang out with Sebmal and watch some more tapes, but apparently that stream is done for today, so we're not going to go raid Sebmal, who is doing stuff. Hey, how long have they been streaming? Let's go see if she is still going. How long has... Okay, Flannel Cat has only been going for 2 hours, and Flannel Cat is definitely a streamer that streams a lot, or for a long time, so I have to imagine that Flannel Cat will be doing stuff for a while longer here. We have not rated Flannel Cat in a while because often she does stuff during the day. She is fantastic, lovely. So we're going to go hang out with her. Let me get this raid started. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I know this was a little weird, and I dropped a piece and all that, and I'm in a weird room. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for everybody that became a subscriber or renewed their subscription. Thank you all so much for that. Thanks for hanging out. Please come on this raid because we're going to watch someone play some games here. I want to be the guy right now doing some speed running. Looks like it. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.